Hello everyone, hello, thank you for being here for the last talk of the day. My name is Victorine, I'm project director at Odoo. So I work for the MMC department and I had the chance to take over the project with our customer Lucien approximately 1 year ago. So for those who might not know what Lucien is, it's a Belgian bike retailers with more than 20 stores, obviously in Belgium, in different cities. And it's also part of the D'Ieteren group. We started the collaboration in 2022. And the goal was quite simple. It was to implement Odoo, to be able to run the whole business, and in the end, the 23 stores. We can say it was a challenging project, but also a successful project, because today all the stores, so the 23 stores, are fully live with Odoo. We have Gauthier here. He is digital manager at Lucien. He's the one leading the project. And he's going to share his experience to give a bit more context also about the implementation, share the experience, the key challenges they faced during the project, and maybe give some advice for if he had to do it again. Thank you, Gauthier.
Thank you, Victorine. So indeed, the agenda, if you have questions, you can scan the QR code. I will speak a bit the project context, the key challenges, the outcome as well, what were the results, and what's coming next as well, and the key takeaways. So the project context, 23 stores, 25 sales team in fact, but 23 physical stores. There was 2 warehouses, 200 users, 60 point of sales, and about 1 million data lines that were imported. The idea is, of course, a central purchase for all the 23 shops by a purchase manager, and so all the logistics that comes with it. So Lucien also, we started 5 years ago in 2022, and the idea was to build quite fast by buying independent stores to quickly arrive to significant numbers of stores. And so in all the stores that we were buying, they were using different software, AdSoft, cycle software, more cycle software, I would say, in the cycle industry, and then vended more retail with a bit of focus on the cycle industry, but not totally focused. And those tools were not scalable. At least the 2 first ones, they were like good tools for one shop, but not scalable for 23 stores. Vendit had the analysis was quickly done between Vendit and Odoo, because Odoo, the first good thing is that we could move fast. In 4 months, we had the first shop live, and in 8 months we had the 2 second shops, and that was a bit more the real go live, because it was our flagship store, which was one of the biggest stores of Lucien, that went live with Odoo. So in almost less than 8 months, we were live with our biggest shop. It's customizable, so that was important as well for us to have something that could fit the UX of the user as well in the shop. And of course, it's fully integrated, so you have the accounting, the HR, and all that kind of very interesting stuff at the end to have a global ERP. In terms of resources, there was 2 people, so me and an internal dev at Lucien, and the Odoo team. Approximately, it depends on the stage of the project, but we were, I would say, 4 people, project director, 1 or 2 business analysts, depending on the needs during that project, and 1 or 2 developers as well. What were the biggest challenge of Lucien? First of all, we have non-digital users. They are really, really good for a lot of other stuff. They are the best for bikes knowledge and repairing bikes, but for digital use, a lot of them don't even open their Outlook on a PC. They are really focused on repairing, and so that's quite of a challenge, because we need to think stuff in a simple way so that they can use it effectively. The second biggest challenge was the fragmented product data. So we did not have a project where we say, okay, we will first open 5 shops, we will sell those brands, and we will buy those brands, we will import the data. No, we had some data in the beginning, but we then bought these shops with a lot of different brands, a lot of different quality of product data. Some shops that we bought were quite okay with product data, but some were a bit of a nightmare. And so it was hard to keep a clean database, because at the moment you need to import those databases because they need to scan those products in the post, they need to work with this. So that was really a big challenge. And the supplier in the bike industry, you have some really mature supplier and others less. So sometimes we don't receive any product data list. We received articles at the warehouse without barcode. So the people there needed to open the box, try to identify the product and see in a list of 1 million products which one it is. So that's clearly something that you can build the best software. If that's coming, you don't have really a good solution for that. The third challenge was the culture. Because we buy independent stores, there are people that work 20 years for their own business, with their own system, with their own ways of doing, and they switch to Odoo, but as well they switch to Lucien. And so from one day to another, they were buying their own stuff on their website, B2B website of the supplier, and then they need to rely then on a central purchaser and a process that needs to be followed. And if they don't follow clearly the process, things are going miss, because they don't just click on a website and things are coming, and even if it was not the good product code, the product is coming at their shop, and then they say, this product, I think it's for that client. Here, it's coming at the warehouse, and the product needs to be linked with the customer order, otherwise it just stays at the warehouse. So that was really an important factor of user adoption of those independent people, but on the same way, they learn us a lot as well of their experience, their way of working, their way of building a huge shop. So it was interesting but challenging. And then the after sales, clearly after sales was maybe the most challenging module, I would say, in Odoo. The standard module was we need to customize it, and we went live and we needed to redo it to finally come to a good version today, but that was clearly more of a challenge. So after sale, I mean all the repairs. You buy a bike, you come back, it needs a reparation or a maintenance. You need product, you need that's all that kind of stuff. That was more challenging to all that planning of different mechanics and etc. So that's the go live timeline. So 4 months before January 23, we launched the project, and 4 months later we have the first shop that is live, a smaller shop, so less challenge. And then in May 23 we have the biggest shop of Lucien XL, in the Châtelain here in Brussels, that we opened at that moment. And then we integrated some other shops until January this year, where we integrated 11 shops at once, and those 11 shops represented about 65-70% of our turnover. So that was really the critical part. They were all in that other ERP vendor with their way of working, etc. So that was really the moment of the Odoo Lucien project. Was the moment of truth, I would say. And what was super interesting is the fact that we went go live fast, because we learned so much after the first go live. If we had continued developing stuff and we went live with all the shop at once in January now, it was a massacre. So you can think the best thing, you will never could identify all the employee behavior that they could take in Odoo, all the client behavior. I will take a simple example. It was said that a client would pay by wire transfer the entire amount of his bike, or he would pay it in the POS. Now the clients decided to in fact pay a part via wire transfer and then the rest in the POS, and so all that kind of stuff you can test everything, but you will never have the whole picture that you can cover for that. So during that period we took also scores. So we asked shops that were live what was the score they give to Odoo, to the process, etc. And so we saw there as well if we were in the good trajectory or not. And we saw quite quickly that stores that were there for five months started to give 6.5, 7 on 10. The new stores gave always a 3.5, 4, but that's usual. They need to get into it, and so the good sign was okay. The stores that were there since a couple of months, they start to use the program in a good way, and they start to enjoy it as well. So that preparation, those feedback were super important to have a successful go live of the 11 shop, representing a big part of our turnover. If I had to do again the project, there was 3 different parts, the same way, a bit differently, and what I wouldn't do. One of the big thing that make it a success, I think, is it's the internal IT dev that we had at Lucien. Creative, very technical, and it was a good combination with the team of more user empathy on my side and trying to make that the non-digital user could use the tool correctly, and him with the more IT complex development, together of course with Odoo that were part of the development. And a big thing as well of that is that he was, and he's still there, he's quite competent also in hardware. And you can build the best solution if your bank contact doesn't work because it has no connection, or the printer doesn't work, or you print a label, you get a PDF, and then you then need to ask the non-digital user to put the good format in the PDF to make it able to print it. Everything just, you can stop everything and they will throw the computer out of the thing. So, and to have him in-house to be able to be very responsive whenever a bank contact was not working or a printer was not working, he did a lot more than that, but I'm just saying that small part was crucial for a retail store to make it work smoothly and having a quick assistance in case of problems. The fast go live, I already told it about. It is for me one of the best things that we went fast and learn with it, and that's good with Odoo. You can go fast and then develop on the go. The thing you thought they were critical or not so critical for some, and things that you didn't expect it are vital. And so it's better to start fast with some shops, and then when you feel ready to move the rest. We did a big focus on training, so we were responsible in Lucien for the training of all the people, the communication as well. It was not so Odoo, it was really internally made. And that was really important. We were also in the beginning for the 11 shop it was not possible, so I will show you what we prepared, but for the rest I was there with them in the shop for 3 days to assist them in the first day, and for them it feels also a big relief to have someone with them, because sometimes we develop stuff but we forget the moment when you're in the shop with a line of 10 clients angry because they need to take their kids somewhere, and so with the stress, even if you show the best video, it quickly goes out of control. So that was really important to have that support and training. And then finally, a good thing we had as well is the focus on stability. At one point we were developing some critical needs, so it was necessary. But at the moment of those go live, it was also important to say, okay, we stop. We stop developing. A good thing about Odoo is that it is interconnected, so you have everything, it's an integrated solution, but that's also a big risk, because when you do a development on one part, it can have an impact on every part. And it's not always easy to be sure that you have just modified the thing you needed and that it has no impact. And so that is also something that, of course, we need new development sometimes, etc. But stability also is really key, that they have an environment where they are confident about it and they not start seeing all sales team in one way and then the next day no more, and then so that's quite important. Differently, I think we might have been a bit too quickly into the development to say, okay, but the solution is we dev, and I think, but on a okay stage, I think, and I think it's important and quite exciting as well to sometimes really don't go directly that way, get creative, sit with the team and say, okay, how can we in fact adapt to Odoo, and not always Odoo adapting to Lucien or the bike industry. And you see now that we had the freeze now because we had the V18 coming now. We had no choice, and there we saw, okay, in fact, there is something, and I want to thank Odoo for that, because even if for them the more we develop, the better it is for the revenue, but there were a lot like, are you sure you need this? Are you 100% sure? There is an impact maybe there, there's an impact maybe there. They were challenging a lot the question, the needs of development that we ask, and so yeah, that I think was a precious help. Differently as well, I think that sometimes we reflected in some development of maybe sometimes too simple context. So there is a piece coming in the warehouse, we receive it, okay, it is allocated to that shop, we send it to one shop. After a few months, in fact, we were with 23 shops. The reception were made with seven people, allocating on the same screen with 7 people as well. And there it was a bit tricky. And there we had to make some improvement to make them work all together in the same view, etc. So differently, I think I would have thought maybe more directly about, okay, that's nice, it's working for one person, but what if we are 6 working in that screen together? The don'ts, I think that is my biggest, I talk about it already, but the product data is the truth, it's the key to, you can again build the best solution. If the product data is shit, it goes wrong. It goes wrong. I will give you example. If you have double products in Odoo, someone will put that product on a client order, it comes to the warehouse, and the warehouse scan it on the other double product, which is not linked to an order. It just stay at the warehouse, someone else take that product and sell it to someone else, and the other one is waiting for his product that is not more available because it's sold in the meantime to another client. So that's one of the examples. The second example is just for purchase. Purchase was a challenge as well for us. We did all in centrally. And if you don't have a database that is maintained with products that are not available anymore at the supplier, they should not be anymore in Odoo, because otherwise people keep putting them on sales order. The purchase manager cannot buy them. They reply to the sales people, it is not available, and then you lose 2 weeks and the client are very angry. And so if you have the database correct, you could tell the client, this product is not available anymore at the supplier. So I will propose you another product, and you avoid a lot of pain points in the process that we put in place. And second point, don't think that everyone will follow your process. We did some really nice video, and I think it helped a lot, but we needed as well to make sure what we explained is followed in a good way, because you can do a lot of stuff, and with the stress of the client, you can go a bit you can arrive to a goal in different ways. There is one good way, one way okay, and the other way is bad because it make some problems in accounting thereafter, and etc. And so I think that's an important point. You need time for that, but that time I think it's well invested to just have the reflex to say, okay, we just made a new procedure to create gift cards, for example. Do the people follow it correctly? Do we have a way of checking when it goes the wrong way, and can I correct it quickly? Because if you don't correct it quickly, they are in the shop with 10 people. Yeah, but I know how to do this, that, like that, etc. And it goes, and everyone goes on the wrong way, and then you keep cleaning issues thereafter on finance part or on a logistic part or whatever. This is a quick example of the cyclopedia that we call, with all the different actions, key actions that a user can take, creating a sales order, creating a contact, making a refund, asking for new stock in your shop, doing a credit nota, doing a new gift card. So they have all that process, and you see with videos, screenshots, we try to keep it short to have it in a nice way, not having a big manual, and so they can look for those answers, and we use that as well a lot for the training of the 11 shop at once. For the 11 shop at once, we did really a 2 days training in a really like a room like this with a big PowerPoint. 1 day of theory, 1 day of exercise, and they were all there. They had a lot of fun as well. It was a nice way of getting to know the Odoo program that they were going to use, and so it was good because there were 11 shops that we couldn't be there in the shop. So there it was really we launch, and you are alone in your shop, and you need to make it work. You need to sell product, you need to sell bike. So voilà, that was, I think, a good thing. Support in store when we could, and for those 11 shops we had a really support line on the phone where all the time someone was responding. We were more in the line for the support to be able to respond to all their questions. And then every month we do some tips and tricks to try to continue the training of the users. A very simple example, but I like to show it because that was one people asked me, we need to develop something, we need to see priority on the planning view of the repair, etc. It was really on that view. There are other view where you can see it, and so here it was the freeze. And finally we told him, but just put an emoji in the title. You can even filter on it, and it is. You directly have a good view of the priority you have. That's of course now there is 50 users asking for that. Maybe we're gonna develop something, but I think it's a kind of an example of getting creative. We had another example that was the moment when I had the most reactions when I said something new was there. It was not a development. I just added, so they need to select leasing companies. And they had a lot of problem to look for them, and in the title of the leasing companies we just put leasing in it, and it was, I never received so much email saying, oh, great improvement, etc. It was 2 minutes work. So sometimes it's good to try to think also outside of the development zone and try to find solutions that are impactful and that takes not so much time. Outcome, unified. We were on 3 different programs, working on 3 different product data, 3 different contact data, different processes, different trainings. So of course that's one of the biggest outcome is that we have one ERP in Lucien and one process, one customer view, etc. It's integrated. So we have HR, we have accounting, we just implemented the expense module now, and then I will show you what's next as well. And of course there is always challenges. People like to complain as well. We are not 100% where we want to be. There is still improvement, but the biggest sign for me is that during this big switch this year of the 70% of the turnover of the shop, we did our best sales year. So that's for me a sign of saying that people work with the tool, they work efficiently with the tool, and they can continue working on the core of Lucien is selling bikes and doing repair, doing maintenance, and doing their usual job. So I think that was a very good sign of the user adoption and the implementation of Odoo at Lucien. What's next? V18 coming 1st December, so that will be also quite of a thing. Also we will prepare on the communication, etc. Integration with suppliers, so that's really working on product data, having the live stock in Odoo to see, okay, this stock is not available, it will be available in 2 months, it will help a lot. Also to adapt the prices, etc. Automatization with the tool in matching. We are going to implement also the email marketing and also trying to continue. We did some trainings, but we need to do more, because I think people are using now Odoo of 40-50% maybe, and if they use it at 70%, it will again increase efficiency, the way of following up orders, creating their own filters, all that kind of stuff. We need to continue to train them. Voilà. Thank you very much for your listening. And maybe one last thing is that what we did as well is never to overpromise for the new joiners about the ERP. We told them it's gonna be not fun, it's gonna be hard, they are not going to love for the 3 first months. And we really tell them that, I think, every day, saying, voilà, but you need to wait. After 3 months, we sit together and we see where we need to improve, but just for 3 months, you need that period of...
Thank you, Gauthier. There were a few questions in the pad, but Gauthier answered everything during the presentation, so it's really it's perfect. There was one about the design, but honestly I don't get the question, so please just come here and ask your question directly to Gauthier or myself or Thibaut, or voilà. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.